ما يسهل السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. My topic is very broad. It's the tricks of Shaydan. And the Quran talked about Shaytan and Shaytan and humankind challenge in the Quran so many times. Much more than the Quran talks about the fasting and Ramadan. And we know Ramadan is one of the pillars of Islam. It's a very important topic. Even more than Quran mention Ramadan, Shaytan is very much everywhere in the Quran. So it's so big. I will just try to give you snapshots of that topic, inshallah ta'ala. Who is Shaytan? It takes a lot of time explaining who Shaytan is, how he looks like, and where is he, all that stuff. I will go back to Iblis to make it small. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran a story that happened between Iblis and our father Adam and our mother Hawa. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, Iblis walked among the angels. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded all of them, including Iblis himself, to make sujood for Adam. The angels saw this as a commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they fall in sujood. Iblis said, why? He questioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He questioned the purpose of their commandment. And then he said, I'm not doing it. The best description of this story is in the beginning of Surah Alif Lam Mim Sad, Surah Al-A'raf. Just few other ayat from the beginning, and it takes more than 2 pages just talking about this event. He said, why? I don't think I should make sujood for him, and instead he should make sujood for me, because you made me out of fire while you made him out of clay. He's comparing light, the fire and soil, and he's saying fire is better than soil. I'm better than him, so I won't make any sujood for him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked to Iblis and said, why? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you have to leave this Jannah. You can't stay in the paradise. You have to go. فَمَا يَكُونُ لَكَ أَن تَتَكَبَّرَ فِيهَا فَخْرُجْ إِنَّكَ مِنَ الصَّاغِرِينَ. You don't dare to refuse my commandments, to make sujood because of my commandments in Jannah. You have to go. Then Iblis said, I have one request. He didn't say sorry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't feel bad about what he said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even talking back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was bad enough. He said, you know what? I would go, but just give me one thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ask. He said, Anzirni ila yawma yub'athun. Just respite for me until the day of judgment. I know the whole world is beginning now from Adam. So let me live to the end of dunya. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that all you want? Yeah. So you get it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I will keep you alive until the end of this life of dunya. Then Iblis swore by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطَكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ. Because you strayed me, you get me lost, you forbade me from Jannah because of Adam. He said, I will set for them, meaning for Adam, Hawa, and their offsprings, I will sit for them in the path of Jannah, so they can't go. He said, I will be ahead of them in the road. Then he didn't just stop there. He said, not only I sit for them in the middle of the road, not only I will make a roadblock for them, but ثُمَّ لَآتِيَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ. I will come to them from the front, from the back, from the right, from the left, وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ, and I swear by you, you won't find most of them grateful to you. He said, I do everything possible to stop them from going to Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied to please. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَخْرُجْ مِنْهَا مَذْءُومًا مَدْحُورًا لَمَنْ تَبِعَكَ مِنْهُمْ لَأَمْلَأَنَّ جَهَنَّمَ مِنْكُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, get out of Jannah while you are dhaleel, you are awful, very bad. I promise you, whoever follows you from them, meaning the offsprings of Adam, you and them, I will fill you in the hell. Do whatever you want. Get as many people as you can, but my promise is, all of you will go to Jahannam. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked to Adam and Hawa. And Allah said, Ya Adam, uskun anta wa zawjuka al-jannah. You and your wife stay and live in the Jannah. وَكُلَا مِنْهَا وَكُلَا مِنْ حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا وَلَا تَقْرَبَ هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةِ. Eat everything in Jannah except one tree, the fruits of one tree. He said, you can use everything in Jannah except one thing. Don't get near that tree, otherwise you will be in trouble. Iblis is watching. He's already getting ready for the battle. I want to mention here that we should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam not to live in Jannah forever. The purpose was that he come to the earth and live here. And you can see that in Surah Al-Baqarah. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي خَالِقٌ. In that page, I think it is the third page of Surah Al-Baqarah, they ask, أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَنْ يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ. He talked to the angels that once Adam is created, he will descend to earth and he will live here. So that stay of Jannah was temporary. But they didn't stay there long enough. When they were asked, eat everything in Jannah except one tree, then Iblis came. He said, Adam, now he looks like a friend. You know, we're all going, at some point. I have to leave anyway. I can't stay here. But you guys, you have a possibility of staying here forever so that you don't have to go to dunya and deal with me. Do you know why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked you not to eat this? He said, مَا نَهَاكُمَا رَبُّكُمَا عَنْ هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةِ إِلَّا أَن تَكُونَا مَلَكَيْنِ أَوْ تَكُونَا مِنَ الْخَالِدِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not ask you to avoid this tree except for one of two reasons. If you eat, you either become an angel or you will live here eternally, forever. They couldn't believe him. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَاسَمَهُمَا إِنِّي لَكُمَا لَمِنَ النَّاصِحِينَ. Iblis he swore by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He swore by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, I am telling you the truth. I am so honest and helpful for you. I am telling you this because I lived here and done it before you. I know it. I know this. Don't miss the opportunity. فَدَلَّهُمَّا بِغُرُورٍ. He convinced them to do it. Then guess what happened? They tasted from the tree. As soon as that happened, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَأَكَلَ مِنْهَا فَبَدَتْ لَهُمَا سَوْآتُهُمَا. As soon as they tasted it, their clothing went away. They became naked. Nothing. And they rushed to the trees and they started taking the leaves of the trees and attaching to their body to cover their private spots. And now they realized, oh my God, that was Iblis. He cheated us. Oh my God. They started worrying. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked to them directly. وطفقا يخصفان عليهما من ورق الجنة وناداهما ربهما. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called upon them. ألم أنهكما عن تلكما الشجرة وأقل لكما إن الشيطان لكما عدو مبين. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I forbid you to eat this tree? Didn't I explain to you that Shaytan is your worst enemy ever? What happened? How come you followed him? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala scolded them. Remember, insan, the word insan, one of its two meanings is that we forget. We forget so easily. Then Adam and Hawa, they realized that they are in trouble. So when a believer realizes he or she is in trouble, they go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. They say, oh Allah, we have wronged ourselves. We have made a mistake. And if you do not forgive us, if you do not have mercy upon us, we are in serious loss. They repented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They asked him for forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave them. And he said, now you have to leave. Then they had to leave and come down to the earth. I will go quickly a little bit. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the coming, once they have to go, and Iblis is coming with them, and they have to live with this guy in this earth. He is not going to die until the end of the world. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked to us. Ask the kids of Adam. He said, Ya bani Adam, qad anzalna alaykum libasan yuwari sawatikum wa risha. Oh, the sons and daughters of Adam, we have revealed upon you clothes that will cover your awra. And clothes that you beautify yourselves. وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. But that clothing will not prevent Shaytan from getting in touch with you. That just this cover, because you have nice hijab, doesn't mean Shaytan cannot get near you. وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. If you have the covering of taqwa, if you have a strong iman, that is the clothing that can prevent Shaytan from affecting you. ذلك من آيات الله لعلهم يذكرون. Then continued. يا بني آدم لا يفتننكم الشيطان كما أخرج أبويكم من الجنة. Oh, the offsprings of Adam, the sons of daughters of Adam, be careful. Let not Shaytan make fitna in you. كما أخرج أبويكم من الجنة, as he got your mother and father from out of Jannah. Don't fall in the trips that he did to your parents. ينزع عنهما لباسهما. He took their clothes because he was behind the reason that they lost the clothing. ليريهما سوآتهما. He wanted to show them their shame. Then Allah said, إنه يراكم هو قبيله من حيث لا ترون. Shaytan and his tribe, Iblis and his tribe, all jinns, they see you from where you don't see them. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا الشَّيَاطِينَ أَوْلِيَاءَ لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. We made shayateen, the Iblis and his guys, friends of the people who do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those people who are friends of Iblis, when they make a mistake, they say, oh, this is fine. Our fathers used to do this. Oh, this is the culture. They make excuses. قُلْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَأْمُرُ بِالْفَحْشَاءِ يَتَقُولُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Tell them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not tell or ask people to do the haram and fahisha. So the ayah keep going. The story goes along. So here is my point. So my topic was, tell us the tricks of Shaytan. One of the tricks of Shaytan is his own problem. His major problem, he himself, Shaytan, was what? Arrogance. He was so big of himself. That's why he said, I don't make sujood for him because I am better. If you have the nature of being proud yourself, you feel so big of yourself, you have arrogance in you, then you are very vulnerable for the effects of Shaytan. Because that was the main thing that put Shaytan himself, Iblis himself, in trouble. Number two, Shaytan studies people very well. He knows where your weak points. He knows what you like, what you don't like. And he targets your weak points. One area that he targeted with Adam and Hawa was that people, humans, like prestige. They like good seat. They like to be the leaders, to have titles. So he will use that as a weapon. You know, I want to be the Sheikh in the masjid. That guy also wants the Sheikh in the masjid, and the Sheikhs are fighting. Or, this guy is the president. This other guy wants to be the president. The other guy wants it. That is the problem of Somalia for the last 30 years, right? He uses it as a weapon. Also, he uses dunya, you know, prosperity, money, wealth, very, very strongly as well. Ulama mentioned some easy stuff to remember that Shaydan uses. And they said Shaydan most commonly uses the sheens. Sheen is one of the letters of the Arabic language. And the sheens are the ash-shahwa, the desires, ash-shubha, the doubts, and ash-shirk. They're very close. I will give you some examples. Shaitan knows people like something. And most of the things that people like are their desires. If you are a young man or a young woman, you have raging hormones. Your connection to the other gender is very strong. That is where he comes from to you. Islam forbade zina. When the Quran mentioned zina, the Quran didn't say don't do zina. He said, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا, do not get near zina. Meaning never do something that can be a tool for zina. For example, physical contact between male and female of unrelated is forbidden in Islam because it could be a reason for zina. Let's take an example. A young woman and a young man, they are not related. They know one another. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, talking to the wives of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when men talk to you, do not make the talk easy for them, فَيَطْمَعَ الَّذِي فِي قَلْبِهِ مَرَضٍ, so that the guys who have sickness in their heart will have, you know, their attention to you. Then you come, Assalamu alaikum, and even the way you say the Assalamu alaikum could be like a tool. If the Assalamu alaikum is just like Assalamu alaikum or Assalamu alaikum with a smile, that's different. Some people ask me there nowadays, why is hand shaking is haram? You know, it's in the middle of people, Assalamu alaikum. However, you say like, Assalamu alaikum abbawi, and like, he's feeling the touch. Shaydan is saying, yeah, do you see how soft that hand is? Oh, do you see how she's looking at you? She loves you. He's already making the connections. Islam forbade for a man and a woman to be alone in a place. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا يخلون رجل بامرأة إلا ومعها ذو محرم. Never ever be with a woman that is not related to you alone in a room. In another hadith he said, if a man and a woman are in one room by themselves, Shaytan will be, فَالشَّيْطَانُ ثَالِثُهُمَا, Shaytan will be number 3. He's the one, he's the mediator. All right, he makes things easy for them. So one is they fall into the haram and they commit zina. Then he come to them again, each of them. He will come to the guy who will say, hey, you are in big trouble today. This woman, yet you had this and this with her, she's going to tell her friends that you are zani. Everybody will know you. Next morning you will see the guy, will say, Assalamu alaikum, I saw you last night. Oh, did you see me? He thinks like you watch actually what happened. He will come to the girl and say, hey, you know what? You're going to be pregnant. You are in trouble. She started worrying. She might have some virus and started vomiting next morning. I'll say, hey, this is the game. You started morning sickness. She starts worrying too. So he makes easy things to happen first, Then when you get into them, then he starts again making you sad. That is where Shaytan comes to you. And Shaytan has kids. And he assigns his kids to different jobs. One guy is assigned to every single person. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned there is a Shaytan called Qareen. Every human being has one Shaytan assigned to him. No matter where you go, he's with you. When you eat, if you don't say Bismillah, he's eating. When you get to your house at the door, if you say Bismillah, he's coming in. So the best way is to stop him at the door. Say Bismillah when you enter the home. Bismillah walajna, Bismillah kharajna, Rabbina tawakkalna. He is with you all the time. A Sahabi came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the Shaytan kids is assigned to your salat. And here is a problem that every single person has, especially those in America. Everyone who is praying, unless you are in the masjid, we make sujood sahwi 90% of the time. Isn't that right? Yeah? Salat walbo guriga lagu tukado, sujood sahwi alla imana, because you get confused. A man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Inna shaytan hala bayni wa bayna salati. He says, Shaytan got between me and my salat. I can't pray. Every time I'm in so much waswas, I forget how much I prayed. I forget how many rak'ah I am. He's praying every day like 5 times. 5 rak'ah. Most of us do nowadays. Oh, take the shortest number, so add one more. So you pray the Maghrib 4 and Isha 5. That's how it goes. This Sahabi came to Rasulullah, I have that problem. What can I do? Rasulullah said, Dhaka Shaytan. He said, that's Shaytan. And he actually told him his name. He said his name is Khinzab. This is a guy, one of the Iblis sons. His name is Khinzab. And his only job is to mess up your salat. Some people, when they get in salat, they remember everything they lost. One day when man came to the Jama'ah, and he came late. And he said, I came late because I could not find my car keys. He tried everywhere. He couldn't find it. One of his friends picked him up. They came to the masjid. And he said, as soon as I was in the first ruku', I remember where it is. He said, so good to be in salat because you remember things that you lost. Shaytan is the one who reminds you all of this. You think maybe it's good. He reminds me good things. He wants you to lose your salat, because your salat is only good as long as you are aware of what you're doing and what you're saying. When you're thinking about things you lost and you're searching them in the house and finally you find them, he wants you to find the good stuff about dunya, but you miss your salat. That's his job. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told his Sahabi, say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim and spit like very small to your left 3 times. That is one. There is one that's assigned to work between the wife and the husband. That is the most beloved son of Shaitan. He likes the one who just gets the wife and husband fight or just separate. There's one guy assigned to that. Sometimes you will see a family problem and you look at it and you listen to the wife and you listen to the husband and you realize that it's just Shaitan playing a game with them and they don't realize it. Shaitan attends your food. If you don't say Bismillah, he's eating. And more food he eats, more stronger he gets. Also, Shaitan makes waswas in your aqeedah. He will tell you, sometimes you get questions in your mind that are crazy. Once some Sahabi came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, sometimes we get questions coming to our mind that you can't even say it. Said he will tell you, Allah created these trees, Allah created humankind, Allah created this, but who created Allah himself? A Sahabi asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Awajadtum dhalik? Have you seen that?" He asked them, saying, when you say that, just stop and say, Shahadu an la ilaha illallah. No, stop it. Sometimes he plays shakk in your iman too. And Shaitan creates something called shubha. Shubha is when you think something is happening, even though it might not happening. I'll give you a story. One night, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was making i'tikaf, and his wife Safiya visited him. It's a night, it's dark. He was standing outside the masjid with Safiya, and the two companions passed by. As they saw that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is standing with a woman, they kind of walked fast. You know, let's not embarrass Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let's go fast. They got fast. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam called them. He said, "Hey, ala rislikuma, you know, take it easy. Innaha Safiya. She's my wife. She's Safiya." Then they came and said, "Subhanallah, you know, we don't think you of bad thing, Ya Rasulullah. We know you are the Prophet." He said, "No. He said, Inna Shaytana yajri ibn Adam majra dami. Shaytan goes from mankind in the pathways of the blood. He goes in your blood vessels." He said, "I was afraid that he might throw something in your heart." Let's take the example. If this Sahabi thought, if the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't call them, and they thought maybe Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was dating a woman, that will be a serious, very, very serious sin. Very dangerous. And that could happen. You know, it's dark time, it's nighttime, nobody's in the masjid, it's just the Rasulullah and the woman standing there. So that suspicion, it's called shubha, that can place these two Sahabi, these two companions into trouble. Just having that thought, oh, maybe he's dating, that could be a very big sin. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was trying to protect them. Sometimes, you know, the wife, when the husband goes to work, she said, "Oh, maybe, you know, he's late tonight. Maybe he was asked to stay a couple of hours late. Where is he right now?" Yeah, he comes from work, he's very angry. "Where were you all night long? It was only 2 hours. Who's doing this?" Shaydan is saying, "Hey, he got from work 4 o'clock, it's 6 o'clock now. He probably has, you know, a single mother or something happening somewhere." That happens all the time, right? I will give you, the same thing happens for the husbands too. You know, there are guys who are always very carefully watching and following their wives. You know, we call them, you know, so-and-so person is Mesero, you know, very jealous. I will give you a story that happened in Somalia a long time ago. I wouldn't mention the town, and it was that might identify people and might get them mad. There was a little town in Somalia, and one clan just left that area, and they had their leader. We call them US. This clan were very known with jealousy. They are men who are very strict about women. To the point, one of them in the morning, because they are animal keepers, will tell the family that he is going with the cows and watching them. Once the cows leave, he will come by. He goes under a tree behind the house, and he's watching all day long. Is there any man coming around? You know, it was so bad that one of them at night saw a small tree behind the house, and he thought that was a guy coming. And he took his big sword, and he kind of sneaked in, and he, boom! Then he realized that was actually a tree, and he said, "Nimba Allah hagid lo noqde." That means, you are a man, why are you tree now? He doesn't even realize that he's kind of crazy guy. That happens. That actually happens. So this suspicion is created by whom? Shaitan. How can you protect yourself? Shaitan is mentioned in the Quran, I said many times, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught all the protections. The stronger your iman is, the more careful about Shaitan and his effects you are. More Quran you recite, more Shaitan gets away from you. Remember Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Umar bin Khattab, whenever he is on a path, on a street, Shaitan runs away from him to a different street. He can't even go that street. Why? His iman was very powerful. More your iman gets weak, more you are very vulnerable for Shaitan. I'll give you one example. If you don't pray 5 times a day, you are very much a prey for Shaitan. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every night when somebody sleeps, Shaitan will come and he ties his head 3 times. And he blows into it. Sleep, the night is very long. What does he want? he wants you to miss Salatul Fajr. Because Salatul Fajr, the morning prayer, is one of the greatest stones that can place you in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever attends the Jama'ah in the Fajr prayer, he will be in the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wants you to lose that protection. So if he wakes up, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and says La ilaha illallah, makes kalima to tawheed, one of them will untie. One of the ties will go untie. If he makes wudu, the other one will go. If he makes salat, the third one will go away, and that person wakes up very energized. So if you miss Salatul Fajr three days, if you don't wake up for Salatul Fajr 3 days, how many ties do you have? 3 times 9? 3 times 3? 9. So you had only 3 ties the first night. Second night, 6. Third night, 9. Keep going. Then finally you will be very much captive. You don't do anything good. Your mom is yelling you every morning, say, hey, pray salat, pray salat. You can't do it because you're already captive. You are in dangerous situation. So salah, kalimatul tawheed, making a lot of la ilaha illallah, as your dhikr is very important. I already ran out of time, I know. So staying with the good people, staying with believers, having your friends as a good friends, someone who is good in Islam, good in the Quran, that will protect you. Avoiding suspicious things. Remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of those are very good things. Because of the time, we can't cover everything. But remember, Shaytan wants you to be with him in the hell. He knows he's going to be there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say in the day of judgment, أَلَمْ أَعْهَدْ إِلَيْكُمْ يَا بَنِي آدَمَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا الشَّيْطَانَ. Didn't I tell you, the offsprings of Adam, that Shaytan is your enemy? And if you recite the Quran, that's what Allah says. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ عَدُوٌّ لَكُمْ فَاتَّخِذُوهُ عَدُوًّا أَلَمْ أَعْهَدْ إِلَيْكُمْ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا الشَّيْطَانَ. All of it, it's just warning about Shaytan. So let's remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's study Shaytan and his tricks, and so that we can avoid it, let's be with the righteous people, because the hyenas eat the lonely goat. That's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Don't be lonely, stay with the people, surround yourself with good friends, remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to win over Shaytan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from Shaytan. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.